Hello guys, my name is Kaushik and welcome back to Lambda Test. In this video, we are going to learn how to interact with inputs, how to interact with buttons, how to interact with radio buttons or the checkbox, and followed by we are also going to learn how to do the assertion in Playwright. So let's get started now. So let's get started with a basic form. Like here we can select, we have a simple form where I can enter some message like hi Kaushik, and then I can click on this button called getCheckedValue. Like whatever I'm going to type here, I'm going to get that here and we are going to do the assert. Okay, so let's get started. It's going to be very simple. I hope already you have watched the previous video where we discussed like how to use the test match, how to use the use, and then we have like retry, reporters, all the stuff. Okay, as of now I'm going to make this retry as 0 because I don't want to execute if there is any failure. We learn the failure if there is any, and then we'll try to fix it. Okay, and then we have this reporter, which is fine, we need that. And here we have the test, we are going to change that. So here I have created a file called basicinteractions.test.ts within the test folder. So I'm going to copy the file name, and within the config file, within the test match, I'm going to change this one. Okay, so this is going to be our execution point as of now. Now within the interaction file, within the test file, we are going to create a test block here, and of course this test block should be of async type, and then we have to import this test from the Playwright Test under, right? So here we'll say like import test, and that's going to be from Playwright Test. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing. Now here we are going to say like await, then followed by page.goto. And here we have to give our URL, that's going to be this one. So I can copy and paste over here, right? That's it, very simple thing. Now, first of all, of course, we have to find the elements, and already we discussed like we have a lot of way to find the element. So you can use XPath, direct locators like ID, CSS, or whatever it is, right? So let's clear this one, and I'm going to right click and inspect. So I'm going to use the letExpert just to find it very quickly because these are like very static elements. So here I can say like input user message. If you want to confirm, you can copy and paste here, and you can see like we are getting 1 of 1. That means this CSS value is correct. Okay, so I'm going to take that one, and here I'm going to say like await, then followed by page.locator, and I'm going to save this one, right? And of course, for the locator, we don't have to use the await. Like if we are going to perform something like dot type or fill or like click, then await is required, but we are going to find only the element here, so await is not required. Okay, we are going to store this here like message input, something like this. Okay, and then what we are going to do is, first of all, we'll verify that here we have a please enter a message. This is a placeholder, right? So we are going to do the console log first. Okay, so here I can select this is the expected one, placeholder, right? So here I can say simply say like console.log and await a message input, that is the locator name dot get attribute, and here we have to give one value. What is the attribute name? So here we can select this is the attribute name placeholder, right? So here I can give like placeholder, and that's going to give me the value. Okay, now this is going to just do the print action, but what if we want to do the assert in the sense? Of course we have to use the expect from Playwright Test under. Okay, so here I can just call the functions like expect, and that's going to be import from the Playwright Test. Okay, and here I can simply say like message input, that is my locator, and here I can give like to have attribute, and here we have to give like 2 values. One is the attribute name and another one is the attribute value. For example, the attribute name is placeholder and the value is going to be this one, right? So I'm just going to copy and paste over here. Okay, so this is the second argument. Second argument is basically like expected value, and this is like your attribute value. Okay, now I'm going to bring up my terminal, Control J, and then I'm going to execute like npm test. So that's going to bring up my Chromium browser here. So here you can see like we got the browser, it navigated to the URL and it typed the value, and one test is also passed. If you want to open the reporter, you can use this command here, or else you can just go to that folder directly. Like here we'll go to this Explorer. Within the playwright dash report folder, we'll get this index.html file. So here you can see like we have like expect to have attribute, and this is the attribute name, this is the attribute value. Let's say that we are going to do some mistake here now and see like how the exception is going to look like. But after each and every test, I want to see the reporter and I don't want to go to that folder or use some command. What can I do is simply I can go to my config file, and here like open, we have set it as never. We are going to change that to always. Okay, so after each and every execution, the reports is going to open automatically. Okay, so I'm going to run the test again. Before that, here I'm going to make a mistake. Like here we have like a message is there, right? So I'm going to make it like messages. Okay, so like human error kind of. Consider this is going to be like your failure scenario. Okay, we are going to see the report how it's going to look like. So I'm going to run the test one more time. Let's see now. Okay, and here you can select it failed, and here you can select serve him HTML report. That means like we can see the report. We don't have to go to that folder and open. Okay, so here you can select expected is like messages, but the received, the actual one is message. Okay, so this is how your expect is going to look like. And since there is a failure, of course we can expect the screenshot as well. Like here we can see the screenshot, and here we have the video. But if you see the screenshot, whatever the data we have passed, that is not visible to us, right? So basically it actually typed, but because of the browser size we couldn't see that. So what we can do is we can do a scroll there. Okay, let me show you that as well. So what I'm going to do is this input, right? So before doing the type, okay, we are not actually typing, but just in case if you want to scroll and type, you can use this. Okay, so here I can select await message input dot, and then followed by scroll into view if needed. That means like mostly Playwright can scroll of its own and it can do the type, but in sometimes if you want to do it intentionally, then you can use this function. Okay, and one more thing is like here you can see like once I enter this hi message, let's say that you want to verify that as well, like whatever that you have entered is there or not. So for that we have another functions called input values. Okay, so here let's say that before typing something, right? So here I will get that one. So console.log, and here I can say like await, then followed by message input dot input value. Okay, don't get confused. Input value in the sense like whatever the value we are passing or whatever the value is already there, that we can take with this function. Whereas get attribute in the sense like you have to pass the attribute name and then we'll get that. Okay, and this console.log is just for learning. We don't have to use it in real time because these are known as web first assertion in Playwright. Okay, so we can directly use the expect, we can pass the locator, and we can say like to have attribute, to have text, to have to contain text. We'll see that more in detail now. Okay, so let's go. And let's say that I want to type some data in that. Okay, so once I got my locator, I'm going to say like type, and here I'm going to say like hi Kaushik. Okay, and of course await is required here because we are doing the type action here. Okay, so I'm going to give Ctrl+C so that it will stop. It is like it's acting as a local server, so it won't stop. You have to use the Ctrl+C to quit the terminal. Okay, now I can use Ctrl+L to clear it up, and I can run the test again. So here you can see like we got the browser. Now if you see, it's going to scroll and then it's going to type. Okay, we have a failure because of course this assert we forgot to change, so that is why. Okay, and if I go to the standard output, please enter your message, that is our placeholder value. Okay, so I'm going to correct it for now. So this one. Okay, so here we can say like I'll just add some console log. So like before entering data, and again I'm going to copy paste, and once I enter the data I'm going to like after entering the data. Okay, so we can see the difference. So this value will be like your empty, whereas this value will be like whatever the data we have passed, that will be there. Okay, so let's go and run one more time. Playwright is really easy. If you compare with Selenium, few of the functions are same, but it's really fast comparing to at least the Selenium and Java, because this directly use the Chromium. Like we don't have any driver kind of thing. Okay, so here you can select this my placeholder message, like please enter your message, and before entering data we have nothing because the text box will be empty, and once I enter here, whatever the value I entered, I can see that the same. Okay, so that's it, very simple thing. Now we'll do some kind of assertion. Okay, so for that let's take a example of this one. So here we'll pass like some data like 1 to 1 and something like to input, and we'll click on this get values. Once I do that, here I can say like I will get the result, so we'll just verify that one. Okay, so let's write a test case for that. Okay, simple test case, don't worry. Okay, so we'll just first inspect this one, and here I can say like we have a unique ID called sum1, and yeah, that's unique. And here I have another called sum2. Okay, so let's take both the values. Okay, I'm going to write a new test here, and of course you should give the test name here, but I just skipped that one. But yeah, you got the idea, right? So interaction with inputs. Okay, I'm going to collapse this one, I mean not run exactly. So how can I stop this? Okay, it's running. Let it be, yeah, it executed very soon, so not a problem. Let's go back here, and I'm going to collapse this one. Okay, now here I'm going to create one more test block here, and here I'll just name it like sum, and here it should be like your async. Yeah, so here first of all we'll say like await and page dot go to and the URL, right? So this is the URL, we'll copy and paste over here, and I'm going to comment this because I don't want to execute both the test now. There is a way to run only one test, probably we'll discuss that in our upcoming videos. Okay, so here what we'll do, we'll first find both the locators. Okay, so let's say that page dot locator, and the first one is like sum1, I believe. Yeah, so sum1, and this is going to be my like sum1 input, something like this, meaningful. Okay, so and let's store it like const, and the same thing for the sum2. So here I'll just name it like sum2. Yeah, and this is going to be sum2. Okay, so both the input we have found. Now we are going to enter the data, right? So before that we'll find this get values button as well, and here you can say like we have like a form get total button. This is the CSS value. Let's go and paste it here, or else if you want you can use the XPath as well. Anything is fine, not a big deal. Okay, just to show you the example, I'm going to take the XPath now, and it's 1 of 1, of course it's correct. Okay, so here I'm going to say like const, and it's like your get values button, right? So here I'll say like get values btn, which means button, and here I'm going to say like page dot locator, and then give the value as it is. As I said earlier, Playwright is really smart, it will understand like this is CSS, this is XPath, so you don't have to worry. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to give some input data. So here I'll say like await, then followed by some one input and a dot type, and then I'm going to give like maybe like 1 to 1. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So here we can give like string, and yeah, we have to give it string. So even though if you are going to let's say that we have a let num1 equal to 1 to 1, and then we have like let num2 equal to 4 5 6, something like that. You cannot directly pass this like num. Okay, if you got some background noise, really sorry, it's thunderstorm here. Okay, so here I'm going to give like num1, which will give us error because here we have to type the string only. So what can I do is I can simply use like double quotes plus, like, so it will convert into a string. You can do like that, or else also you can do like toString, or maybe like string interpolation, anything is fine. Okay, so I'm going to copy paste, and here I'm going to change this to sum2, and here I'm going to make it like num2. Okay, now we have to click on this button, right? So here I will say like get values button dot click action, and of course await. Okay, now as soon as I click on that, of course I will get the result here. So let's go and inspect this guy, And here I can see something like it has a CSS value called add message. Let's copy paste, and of course it's 1 of 1, so we can use that. I'm going to use the expect directly. Okay, so if you want to print the text, we have a function like textContent. Okay, let me show you that as well. So I'm going to console log, and here I'm going to say like first of all store the locator. So here I'll say like const result equal to page dot locator, and the locator value is this one. Okay, so here I can say like await, then followed by result dot textContent. Okay, so textContent is a function which will return the text present in that particular element. Okay, but I also want to do the assertion, so I will use the expect, and here I will pass my locator as result, and I can say like to have text, not value, to have text. It's like your get text in Selenium. Okay, so this function textContent in the sense like it's like get text in Selenium. To have text in the sense like what it will do internally in the sense directly it will call this one like result.textContent. It will take the text content and then we can do the value. Okay, so here I can say like double quotes plus, because of course the text content will be in the format of string. So here I can say like num1. Okay, now this will become like string interpolation. So what can I do is I can say like let result expected result, right? So expected result equal to num1, okay, and then followed by num2. Okay, so here I can say like this the expected one. Okay, yeah, so this is basically number format, but since we have like double quotes plus, that means it will do the string interpolation and it will be become in the string format. Okay, so let's run this now. So I'm going to bring up my terminal and I'm going to execute one more time. Let's see. Just to give you a feel of like writing test case, I'm doing this, or else like I can just find the element and I can do the parsing. That's really easy, but of course for learning this will be great, I think. So here you can see like we got like 667, and that is what we got in the expected as well. So our test case is working fine. Let's say that if you are going to do some error, then of course it's going to fail. Anyways, I think this is very simple example you can understand. And this 667 is basically the additional of this two number which we got from this particular line. And if you want to see the result, it's going to be very neat and clean. So go to the Explorer, open the folder, open the index.html, and here you can select this our test case name sum, and here we can say like to have text. This is what we expected, and there is a section called attachment where we will get the standard output, like whatever the console logs we are seeing in our console, we can see the same in the here standard output. Okay, standard, like yeah, the print statement. Okay, so that's it. Very cool. So we understood like how to interact with buttons and inputs, but there are few other functions as well. It's not that easy, my friend. So here we can see like here we have like a type is a function, right? So similarly we have like another function called fill. What is the difference in the sense like fill will clear the existing value and it will do the type, but it's going to be very immediate in the sense like when we use the function called type, it will type one character at a time, like 1 2 3 like that. Okay, but when it's fill, like it will be like zoom, I mean it will type the entire data instantly. It's like JavaScript manipulations. You can use anything, but if you want to do kind of like append, then you can go with the type. If you want to clear the existing value and you want to pass a new fresh data, you can use the fill. Okay, so that's it. Very simple thing. Now we learned a lot of things actually here. So we learned like the first test, like how to scroll but in a particular place. By default Playwright can scroll, but just in case if you want to perform, you can do it. Okay, if I compare this to the Selenium, then of course I have to use the driver.execute script. I have to write the JavaScript code, right? But here already they have a function. Okay, and we learned the getAttribute, how to get the input value using this function called inputValue, and also we learned like how to use the web first assertion, that is this one, expect condition. Okay, now let's see how to interact with checkbox. Okay, so I'm going to create one more test here. I'm just commenting as of now, but there is a better way to do it. Okay, so maybe after the video I will tell you. Okay, so here I'm going to create a async function, and within this parameter I'm going to receive my page, and this is going to return me an anonymous function. Okay, so here I will name it like checkbox, something like that. Okay, now let's go and find the checkbox. So here we have a checkbox demo page. I will copy this URL, and here I will say like await page.goTo. Okay, and then what can I do is I can simply find this element. So here you can see like we have a checkbox here, right? So I'm going to inspect this one, and here I can select I have a ID called is_age selected, so I'm going to copy, and then I'm going to, yeah, so this is only one match, so one ID is there. We can use the CSS, but this time I will go with the ID itself. Okay, so what can I do is I can simply go here and say like await page dot locator. Okay, and if you notice I'm always using this page dot locator, but as I said earlier, sorry, here I have to say like ID equals and this value. Okay, there is also other way to find the element is basically the this dollar symbol. Okay, but this is not recommended to use anymore in the like from previous 3 version of Playwright. I believe when I started this Playwright series in my channel, there I have used this a lot, but eventually after Playwright team recommended to use the locator, I also changed in my channel. But since here we are starting from the very fresh, so I want to give you only the best practice, so that is why I'm not using the dollar. Because some of you might ask me in comments like, why are you not using dollar? We have seen that in other blogs or other videos. This is the reason. Okay, I hope you got that. Okay, now here I'm going to store that, and let's say that this is going to be my what is this? This is my some checkbox, right? So single checkbox, let's name it like single checkbox. Okay, and first of all, by default it is unchecked, right? So it is unchecked in the sense we have to do the assertion. So here if I go like and say like single expect within the expect, and here if I say like single checkbox to be checked. So here you can see like we have only one function called to be checked. We do not have something like unchecked, right? So what we can do is we can negotiate this one. So here simply I can say like dot not. That means to be checked in the sense like we are expecting that checkbox to be checked, but by default it is not checked, right? So here we can select not to be checked. Okay, then let's say that I'm going to check this one. Okay, so await single checkbox dot check is the function. Okay, you can use the check function, or else you can also use the dot click function. Both will act in the same way, but if it's a checkbox, it is recommended to use this function, or else you can go with the click action as well. That should also work fine. Okay, and once we do the check, of course the state is going to change. The checkbox state will become from unchecked to checked. So here I can simply remove this not guy. Okay, now it is checked. Okay, so let's go and run this one more time, and I'm going to close this and run. Okay, it got passed, but it was really fast. I don't know how you saw that, but in the result you can of course see, right? So expect not to be checked. Here we can select we are getting the correct one. If it's not appropriate, then of course there will be a failure, but we can understand based on this. Okay, or else you can also check on the video and the screenshot. That's going to be very simple. Just go to the config file, and here you can enable that as well. Okay, so that's it. Very simple thing. Let me tell you one more thing. Okay, so here as of now I'm just commenting everything before each and every execution, right? So this is basically not a good practice to comment. Of course this is just for learning. We have a very easy way to do it. We call it like annotation in Playwright Test runner. Okay, so if you want to execute only particular test, what you can do is you can say like test dot only. That means even though we have like 3 tests, right? It's 3 tests. The first one will only execute, okay? And test in the sense like, for example, let's say that I'm going to remove this, right? So here we have like 3 test block now, okay? And how it will execute in the sense like 3 tests will be considered as 3 different tests, and it will run in different browser, not in the same browser, okay? So let me run and show you that as well. So I'm going to run one more time, and at this time I'm going to bring the video and the screenshot as well, okay? So I'll just make it like on, and here also I'll make it like on, okay? Now let's go and run this. This time you can see all the videos and the screenshots. In case if there is any failure, of course it will fail, but I think I have corrected all the tests. Let's see. So here you can see like it's running first the simple form, then it's running the second, the calculator, and third one is the checkbox, okay? Yeah, so 3 pass and we got all the reports. And here you can see like we get interaction with inputs, sum, and the checkbox. These are my test name. If you expand that, here you can select all the steps as well as the screenshot as well as the video. Of course you can play it and you can see yourself. Now go back, similarly you can do for each and every test, okay? So this is like 1 second. It is very fast, I think. Yeah, even we are not able to see like whether it's checked or not. So in that case, of course you can use the function like scroll if needed, and then you can do the check action, okay? So that's it from my side. If you have any queries, do let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to reply back. And yeah, see you in the next one very soon.